What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Contractor Secrets podcast. Today, I'm bringing in a very, very good friend, Brandon Pierpont. Brandon and I had an opportunity to connect at the PCA Expo. He was one of the speakers there. Him and I hit it off. I went to his training when I was there. Blew me away. The guy is an encyclopedia for marketing. He understands what I lay down in terms of customer journey, right? Customer journey is so important. It's not so much about people not wanting to pay your price. It's about people not having enough data, not having enough evidence, not having built enough trust to justify paying that price. And that's what Brandon and I talk about today. Brandon drops a little gem at the end about getting you involved in some of his endeavors. So make sure you stick around for that. This Contractor Secrets podcast starts right now. Get your notepad out, listen to it twice, take some of these principles down, utilize them in your business. It's going to work. Thanks, guys, for listening. It starts right now. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right. They're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener. It's so much better. And that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. All right, we're live, man. Let me pin this up top. I got Brandon here, Painter Marketing Pros. Let's get started, man. You know, we have limited time here. We're dealing with contractors. They don't want the hoopla. All right. But I do want to hear a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we're going to get into extracting some of your secrets. We're going to get pretty deep here. So tell us a little about who you are, man, and what it is that you do.
Yep. So I am Brandon, founder and owner of Painter Marketing Pros, and we make painting contractors the premium painting option in their service area. So you can close more deals. We really specialize in residential repaint, so you can close at a high percentage for high profit margins.
I love the synopsis, but let's go a little bit deeper because when people hear marketing, Brandon, all right, usually they run away. You said this in your talk at the PCA Expo.
Yeah.
Brandon was one of the speakers there. And, you know that I think you use this term, dirty marketer. When you
Nick used it for me. Nick Slavic dubbed it for me at the winter retreat. And then I have since taken ownership of it.
All right. So, but the fact that I'm even bringing you here is a filtering out process, and you are not a dirty marketer. You're a good guy. And I think that one thing I want you to help me on help the world of contractors understand here is, that marketing is more of a necessity than a commodity. And I want you to help me understand why marketing is important from your mile high perspective at any stage in business, whether it's in the beginning or it's in the middle or if it's in the higher end of, multiple crews and things like that. Why hire a marketer to do what they believe they can do through word of mouth or, those limiting beliefs in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah. So there are a couple of reasons. You can grow through word of mouth. You're just going to grow more slowly, right? Word of mouth referrals, it's not scalable. Especially the way most people treat it, which is passively. There's a way to play that actively that most people don't play it, but you can only grow so fast. So if you're wanting to grow faster than that, if you're wanting to actually get what we call cold traffic or people who don't already know you or you didn't already paint their friends or family member's house, they need to know you, right? They need to read just like any other business in any other industry, right? Ultimately, it's about getting known. It's about differentiating. If you go the route of let's just buy leads through Angie or let's just see what we can get through HomeAdvisor or Yelp or whatever, then you're a commodity. And if you're a commodity, then the lowest price wins. And if the lowest price wins, then the reality is only the homeowner wins, except even the homeowner doesn't win because then you're forced to cut corners and they get a crap project. So actually nobody wins.
So marketing helps with perception.
It helps with perception, and it helps with letting people know who you are and what you do, right? Like for Painter Marketing Pros, we market our process. We market what makes us different. We market how we focus exclusively with painting contractors and why that's important. Not just that we do it, but why does it actually matter?
How do you help contractors convey that same message style to their customers? I mean, it's like, all right, well, yeah, of course we paint houses, Brandon, duh. Like, how do you make it to where, a random person goes to that customer that's a customer of your contractor that's a customer of yours and can instantly identify what they do, who they serve, and why they're not a commodity, why they're different.
Yep. Yeah. So it's really, I view it as a two-step process. One, get the right person through the door, the right homeowner through the door, someone who's focused on value, or at least willing to focus on value. And number two, give them a reason to value you more highly, AKA pay you more money, right? So get the right person through the door and give them a reason to pay you more money. The way you get the right person through the door is through effective marketing, not getting leads through things like Home Advisor, Angie, but actually getting leads organically through Google, doing effective keyword research mapping. So you know what's being researched where, targeting the pages, getting into all the technical behind it, but actually getting that high intent traffic. So people who have sort of cash in hand, so to speak, buyers, people ready to make a purchasing decision. And then when you come through, they're still almost all going to get at least one additional estimate because they feel irresponsible not getting it. So you have to then differentiate, and oftentimes they'll get two. So you need to show them who you are. And we do that with actually a very similar process to what Dripjobs does, is we do a pre-sale where we drip different, not only appointment reminders, but we actually have customized videos. So we'll custom tailor videos for each of our clients and then drip it prior to the estimate. So when you walk through the door, you're not company X and then there's company Y and company Z, and the homeowners, well, you know, company Z will do it for $1,000 less. No, you're John's house painting. And they know, hey, this is your process. This is what happens. Thanks so much for the opportunity to provide an estimate. I want to let you know what you can expect next, so they know, like, and trust you. And then there's company Y and company Z, and Chuck in a Truck slides up and he tries to undercut you by $1,000, but they're already spending $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. So being undercut by $1,000 from someone they don't really know, they haven't really learned anything about their company, versus just paying you the extra money. And you have maybe the guarantee. Maybe you do, you know, what a lot of guys like to do. I'm a big proponent, the free interior touch-ups for life. It's obviously a good sales process to get back into their house. You do all these, offer a workmanship warranty, and you create a shortened link and you send it to them. And so they actually can look up your workmanship warranty and actually see it, can actually know you stand behind the quality of your work. And then the other guy who comes in, and even if his estimate looks professional, hasn't already been in your mind, already kind of created a presence for himself in your mind, it's going to be a much harder sale for him. You're touching that customer multiple times in value-added ways.
So what you're talking about is the customer journey. And for those of you that weren't at Brandon's seminar, it was really about the customer journey. I live the customer journey. That's
you
what
do.
I do.
You do. It's what Dripjobs is.
I am the customer journey. Okay? All I do every day is think about how I can make the customer go to Disneyland. And some of us are not letting our customers go to Disneyland. In other words, they're going to Wild Splash Waters that closed down in 1989. You know, there's so many questions that every customer has, right? And I think if we reverse engineer the buying process, which is something that I spent a lot of time trying to do because I'm a buyer, I'm a good customer, right? And I think if you're a marketer, you have to be, right? And when you buy something, whether it be for something for your own home or something in general, you think about like, okay, well, how am I receiving this experience, right? And I think the way it's done is so outdated, and then add that on top of complete mistrust and so many questions. Remember, it's kind of like buying a house in a sense that, like, dude, you only do this 3 or 4 times in your lifetime, hiring a professional contractor to come in. And what we kind of do is we get so comfortable with these numbers that we sell jobs for 4,000, 8,000, 12,000. Like, it's just, you know, it just comes in, boom, boom, boom. But for some of these homeowners, that is the largest expense that they're going to do in 1 to 3 years in some cases, right? Is this job, right? So it's like, you got to put yourself in the shoes of these individuals as a company, as a business owner, and say, off the bat, I understand why they don't trust me. Off the bat, I understand why they're confused. Off the bat, I understand why they go with a lower quote, and I'm not offended. I just need to do a better job of conveying, number one, why they can trust me, educating to help them understand the process a little more. And then when it comes to those two things, that by default should help them question the lower quote and dive into a little more deeper. And I think that is what you are attempting to do as a marketer, is kind of be that person to slide in, audit the processes, and implement things that accomplish that goal. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, 100%. That's a great way of putting it. So yeah, we're essentially, our goal is to make it unfair for your competitors. And as rough as that may sound, we want to make it unfair. When you go provide an estimate, it's really not fair to the other painting company owners that are doing it. And if you think about it from a logical perspective, although I'm not going to get too philosophical or psychological here, because actually our purchase decisions are largely irrational as human beings. But when you think about it logically, if you don't give people a reason to value you highly, then of course they're going to choose the lowest price. Why wouldn't they? There's no logical reason unless you just think you're so
There's no
dazzling
lie.
in
That's
person.
actually psychotic.
It
Actually,
would be psychotic, right?
it
Oh,
is.
well, I'm going to pay you more money, even though I don't know why
Just
I'm going to pay
because
you more
let me
money.
just waste this extra $1,000. And some of us say, why would
Yeah.
you go with that company that's only $1,000 less? Remember, having empathy and understanding that, remember, this is a big expense for some. $1,000 is a lot of money. Is a lot
Well,
of
and
money.
for even for the wealthy homeowners, I think there's this misconception that if they live in a really nice house, well, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
Some of them
They're smarter with money.
they're smarter.
They're
They
smarter with money.
they really want to know
They
what
know the
value
game.
they're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Now, in terms of value, I'm big on that, right? I believe that the focus should not be an equal exchange. And I think that the customer expects that, right? The customer expects whenever they make a purchase, there should be an equal exchange there. They agree to the purchase because they believe that the value of which that they're receiving in return for the dollar is equal. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the exchange. That is what gets people to say yes. So the focus of a contractor should be tailoring the process of sales in a way that's customized to the specific homeowner so they feel as though that the value is one notch greater. And at that point in time, you're going to start seeing that it's so much easier to sell. And what I teach is I believe that every buyer purchases differently. Every person has a different why behind why they buy. So maybe you can hit on that in your experience of like, some of the whys behind why people buy, what you've seen, and how you tie marketing and the emotional aspect of marketing to that. I'm interested to hear what you've done.
I absolutely love that. So I always say you're either a zero or a hero with when you hire a painting company, right? And people are more afraid. It's a fact. People are more afraid oftentimes to public speak than they are of dying. Right. And so why are we so afraid of speaking in public? We're so afraid of speaking in public because we have sensitive, delicate egos, because our egos are of critical importance to us. We care a lot about what other people think and whether they might think poorly of us. When you hire a painting company, that is a risky proposition for people because they're going to come into your house and everything that they do is going to be oh so evident to everyone who comes into that person's house afterwards. So if they hire somebody who did a shoddy job, maybe didn't help them with color matching, it looks terrible, the paint was low quality, whatever they did to screw up the job. Now when their in-laws come in, when their family members, when their friends, when their neighbors go to their house, have a dinner party, it's, oh, I see you did something with the house. Okay, great. Right? Zero. Feels terrible. They're humiliated. When you hire someone who absolutely knocks it out of the park, maybe did free color consultation or they weren't thinking about things quite the right way and actually made sure that they had the right paint and color and everything else and you left the home better than when you came into it. And then their in-laws I think is the easiest way to think about it, but really anybody came in, oh wow, what you guys remodeled? I love what you did with that. Now they're a hero, right? So the disparity is huge. You have a plumber come in, most likely you're not going to get a burst pipe while someone's at the dinner party. You have an electrician come in, most likely the house isn't going to light on fire, right? That stuff's behind the scenes. So you might get screwed by those people, and oftentimes people have. And painting contractors, nothing super special about you, not in the eyes of the homeowner. You're all contractors, you're all distrusted. Anybody screwed them, everybody screwed them, right? So now when you go in, the difference with you is that your work is right there on the wall. Your work is everywhere. And people are
and I think it's even further in that if you think about the exterior side of painting contractors.
Anyone driving by,
which is even worse because ultimately, that is the neighbors, right? That is, the
nosy neighbors.
But the thing is like I will never pitch that in a sense. Well, you don't want to have a contractor come in and get overspray on your your roof if you hire someone else. Never do it that way. But I say, hey, one thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that there's no overspray on your roof by ensuring that, we use shields and the appropriate equipment and skill set to ensure that doesn't happen. So God forbid anyone drives by, that'll definitely leave a mark. So in other words, I never use it in a way that I'm going to create fear, but I just want to create awareness in my customers, awareness. And that's because I know they haven't been through this process and they don't know what the outcome will be. And in most cases, it happens where it'll be too late, right? It'll be too late. And it's hard because it's not, and I liken it to this, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this. I used to sell cars. So they would be able to sit in the car, feel it out, see what the end result's going to be like. All they got to do is make a buying decision. With painting, there's a long wait to see what you're going to get, right?
Yeah, that's where the portfolio, the reviews, the social proof, that
it all matters.
It's all, that's your pre-sale. That's you getting them comfortable, even though they can't see the car, they can't sit in the car, they can't see the paint job. Getting comfortable that you're gonna handle it. And so part of what we do is that's where these customized videos come into play. That's where, hey, I'm the owner. I personally oversee every project, and I want to let you know what's going to happen if you're dissatisfied, or what's going to happen if you want something changed. Here's what's going to happen. So now all of a sudden they know if there's a problem, you are going to fix it, right? That's the big fear of contractors is, oh, well, you paid $10,000, $8,000, you didn't like it. Oh, well, and no one's really, the buck's not really going to stop with anyone. So if you can kind of make sure people know if something happens, what's the process?
I like that. And I think if you have the appropriate customer journey in place prior to even that conversation coming up, subconsciously, you're, as the customer, you're going to know that at the very least, these people communicate. At the very least, worst case scenario, if something does go wrong, up until this point, I have no reason to believe that they won't communicate effectively with me, because when I initially put in that request, I got a text message. When they booked my appointment, I got a text message and an email. When I had a question about changing the time of that appointment, someone got back to me right away. When they came here, they called a couple minutes beforehand and told me that they were running a little late and asked if I wanted a coffee, and it's like, I could clearly tell, even without having that conversation, that this company is going to be trustworthy. On the flip side, though, again, going back to the customer journey, one thing that you and I are both passionate about is automated processes, right? Because we know that a majority of our customers, which are contractors doing under, well, for me, it's usually the majority of contractors are doing under $1 million. So many hats, right? And even though that their value system is in the right place, their business system is not, right? In other words, they value communication and they know that their customers value it, but they seem to fall short on the side of understanding what the customer's going through, that customer journey, right? What are some ways that they can improve that?
Well, I think a big point about it too is what you brought up about, we get kind of numb to these dollar figures, the 4,000, 8,000, 12,000. For us, it's just another day. It's another quote. It's another estimate. They'll close or they won't close or whatever. For them, it's a lot more than that. It's a really big deal. And I think you nailed it on the head. If you kind of set up these systems and use something like Dripjobs, where you actually set it up and it's already running, then it makes your life so much easier. Not only does it make your life easier, not only are you not dropping balls, because you will be, no matter how good you think you are at following up. The average customer needs to be touched 5 to 7 times before they make a purchase decision. So you think about that for a second. How many times are you touching them? You touch them once, probably whenever they make the estimate. Maybe you touch them again before you go give the estimate. Then you give the estimate. Now you've only touched them 3 times. So you need to keep touching them and communicating with them. And I view it as kind of the Allstate, you're in good hands, right? You want them to feel like they are in good hands. You are carrying them across this journey, and there's nothing that they need to worry about.
It's a momentum ladder, right? And I think that there's a scorecard that's happening behind the scenes with every customer, right? And that score, and usually most people, when they make a decision to reach out to a company by way of your marketing, which is designed to build trust, get people to act, people aren't stupid. They make some sort of mental assessment like, wow, this was a really good ad. I could tell this is a professional company. That is your job in a nutshell. It's like your job is to make people say, hey, that's a really good ad. I could tell this is a professional company. If you can get every person that sees your ad to say that, then you've done a great job as a marketer. From there, though, that's when we transition to the contractor's responsibility. From there, and of course, you can put systems in place to do something along those lines to help with that. Of course, Dripjobs is literally, that's like our
what you guys do.
Like literally, right? It's like what happens after that happens, because essentially, if you look at it, the customer is at 100% trust when they put in their information, when they click the button, dude, that ultimate button, like, holy crap, what did I just do? Brandon put out an awesome ad that emotionally charged me. I saw what my kitchen cabinets would look like. And I hate looking at, right? And then, well, what happened? There was this thing that happened from
better be speedy response.
That time period that I hit the button, Brandon, and then I didn't hear back from the company until the next day.
Oh, I call them the next day, or I'll try to call them at lunch.
Yeah, I'll call them at lunch. No, there's no
No,
calling them at
please, good
lunch, buddy.
God, no,
No,
no.
there's no
You're just
lunchtime
taking your
here.
money and you're just
Yeah.
throwing it into
So
a trash can.
if the customer's buying motivation was at 100, their trust was at 100, and their excitement was at 100, guess where it is now after lunch when you had the convenience to reach out to them? 70, 70, 70, right? And then you try to call, they don't answer, and then you yell at Brandon because he didn't, he did
It was a bad lead. It was a bad lead.
Bad lead.
It was a bad lead. I called him within the week. It was a terrible lead.
Not a bad lead. It's a bad sale process, right? So, but we know this, that in some cases the value system of the contractor is not in alignment with the business system, and that's where we plug in those automations. But I want to continue further because, again, I was telling you about keeping score, and I know you know this principle, but again, I just want to voice it because it's so important. You were talking about touch points. If you're at 100, 100, 100, now you waited until the next day, 70, 70, 70, and you say, hey, well, what time can you come out? Well, I don't know when I can come out. It's probably going to be next Friday. I got this job that I'm taking care of. Well, guess where they're at now? 30, 30, 30. Then when you get to there at the house and you do your estimate and you wonder why they don't want to pay you 10 grand to do their kitchen cabinets, all it took was those two little hiccups in the buying process for you to lose that. But guess what? If you capitalize on the emotion immediately, that's an automated text and email going right out. If you do that, now you're at 100, 100, 100 on stage 2, right? And then from there, when you show up to the estimate on time, they have no reason to believe that you're anything different than what they originally thought. So you're still at 100, 100, 100. And when you price the job, they're looking at it with looking at you at 100, 100, 100, and you're giving yourself the best chance to win the job at the price you want. Is that all? You follow? I know you follow me, bro.
Yeah.
No. Back on that heat, bro.
No, yeah, it's 100%, man. They have momentum. They're excited, and they they lose it. So there's some statistic I read somewhere that a lead is essentially dead after 15 minutes. And
15
I think
minutes.
That's 15 minutes. I think it's a slight exaggeration.
I'm going to put that on our landing page.
It's a slight exaggeration, I believe, but that lead has become a lot colder in just 15 minutes. If 5 minutes is max, the amount of time that you need to be reaching out to them, really within 60 seconds. And I know that's what Dripjobs does.
Crazy. I'm putting it on the landing page.
But 15 minutes and it's dead. But yeah, you end up, like you said, you start at 100, you go to 70, you go to 30, and what you're doing is you're just basically putting yourself back in the ring, with everybody, with every other company that wants that job.
But what's mind blowing is that the idea that the contractor has is, well, they're cheap, the marketer I hired sucks, and no one wants to pay me top dollar, and I can't grow my business this way. Let me try something else. And it's like, if you don't fix that thing right there, if you don't understand that concept, you've got to be a good buyer. You've got to understand that process. You got to go through the process.
And I think a big misconception that a lot of painting contractors have is they think that they run a painting company. You don't run a painting company. You paint. You offer paint. That's a service. What you really need to run is a sales and marketing company that offers painting as a service.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if you are literally competing as the homeowner themselves. The homeowner themselves, oftentimes, not with everything, obviously, but with a lot of these just interior, exterior paint, they could go do it themselves if they really wanted to. So how do you run a painting company? How is that really what you run? What you run is you sell them peace of mind. You take care of it for them. You run the fact that they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to figure out how to do it, take the time to do it, to think about whether or not they're going to screw it up. They're paying you for peace of mind. So you run a sales and marketing company that you're selling them peace of mind, and what you're providing is a service of painting. And I think when you start to think about it that way, you don't just show up and, we'll give an estimate, they'll take it or leave it. I'll give an estimate, they'll take it or leave it. No, much of your work should have already been done. The painting is just kind of the icing on the cake. That happens at the end. But you run a sales and marketing company, when you show up the estimate, that's your job. Up until then, and then through the estimate, that is your company. The painting, most of you guys subcontract anyway. It's not even your company. So that literally your job is done. Then you have some quality control and you have some other stuff that you need to do. But it's a mental shift that needs to happen if you really want to grow. If you want to stop being at 150, 250,000, you want to go to a million, several million. That's the shift that you have to make.
I mean,
I got heated about that. I get excited about that.
No, I mean, I felt that. It's important. I mean, it's like if you want to actually like own a business, you really got to have the mindset of your customers. I think the best marketing is through the eyes of your audience. And marketing always changes, right? I mean,
Empathy is key, man.
yeah, I mean, it's just interesting how that works. But, if you're so narrow focused on your own processes and all that, you kind of lose sight of how the market is always moving. Every moment it's changing the way people buy. Soon we might in 5 years have a conversation about how to freaking put ads in the meta, about how that's going to happen. I mean, just simply because clearly it's going to happen. It's just a matter of, will the market adopt to that, and how will the painting business respond?
I wonder when Amazon's going to start
no, listen,
painting with the drones.
Amazon, no, dude, my thing with Amazon, no, I'm being honest. My thing with Amazon is VR grocery shopping, where you just go there and you get to experience walking through the aisles just like you would, and you just boop, click that one, boop, boop, boop.
God, man. Oh man,
and then boom, it's just delivered to you, and you feel like you went to the. I mean, that's how. I mean, I feel like that's going to happen. 100%. Hopefully,
I'll actually go to the grocery store with my wife then.
Yeah, you just like check out. Yeah,
I'll go to the living room. It's fine.
Yeah, she's like shopping, and your VR's off. You're like frozen in the
like playing some shooting game.
Yeah. But there's one more topic I gotta cover here. All right, and I really want to cover it because I feel like marketing is like, if you guys think of a push mower, right? A push mower. You ever mow your lawn?
I've mowed it quite a
few
times.
You ever
don't mow it anymore, thank God.
Right. Okay.
You
ever crank the cord and it just wouldn't kick, dude? Isn't that like the worst feeling? Isn't it really like you're just pulling that thing and you just think,
I already didn't like mowing, so that just made it worse.
Yeah, and it just made it worse. You think the more you pull that thing, it's just going to crank, right? Your business is the motor. Okay. Your business is the motor, right? And if you don't have marketing, the motor shuts off and it turns on when you get a lead come in organically through your website that you think people just go to because they just decide to type in random websites.
You just hang a shingle outside your door. Yeah. It's like a physical office. You just hang a shingle and then people just line up. Actually, it's
just line up, right? It's how it works, right? And it's like your business is the motor, right? And essentially without a steady flow, right? Essentially, I believe that the marketing is, someone coming in and gassing up that mower to just keep it running, man. Keep it running. But every time it stops, you got to stop the mower, crank it back on again, and stop it and crank it. And it's just like, that's what marketing is designed to do, is to keep the things moving so everything else around you can continue to move. Because every time marketing stops, in other words, every time your own devices cease, everything else stops around you. Production gets scarce. The pipeline slows down. Sales, really no conversions there. And then doubt creeps in. Growth doesn't happen. Marketing is the driving force of your business. And if you don't know how to do it, if we can rewind this back to the beginning of this, where you were talking about keywords and all these crazy things that I don't even know. If you don't know it, the time it's going to take you to learn it, master it, and keep up with how it changes, you're not going to have time to run your business. Hire someone to do it for you. Stop holding on to the money. Okay. And with that final thought, how do they find you, Brand? If you're the guy, if you're listening to this and you like this guy, which I fully endorse, by the way, if you like this guy and you want him to talk with you about marketing, how does it happen, bro?
Yep. Yeah. They can shoot me an email at brandon@paintermarketingpros.com. You can also check out our website, paintermarketingpros.com. There you can actually watch a free demo of our process. So you can just click watch the video and you can read all about our company. Or again, you can email me directly, brandon@paintermarketingpros.com.
Awesome. And then if you use coupon code Tanner,
it's 100% off for 5 years.
You get a cool book. Actually, I have your book right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that. That coupon code sounds good. Coupon code Tanner.
I keep it close.
I love it, man. So I love it.
Yeah. So this is that's Brandon here.
Yeah.
He's a published author, and maybe he'll hook you up with this book.
You have to use coupon code Tanner though.
You got to use coupon code Tanner. There's nowhere to put in the coupon code. You literally got to
have to say it or type.
You got to talk to him and be like, coupon code Tanner, and just wait to see what he does.
And you have to make it really awkward.
Thanks, bro, for joining us here. I hope everyone watching this got something out of this. I hope that if you're in your car, you literally just like pull over and go to go to Brandon's website and get started, because you got to take action on things like this. I used to spend a lot of money on marketing, and I gave it to the wrong people. I gave it to Home Advisor. It would have been great to have somebody one-on-one with me that can walk through my needs specifically, that I could be like, yo, I need you to scale this up, scale this down. I need you to change this ad. These leads maybe are getting the wrong impression. Can you alter this? And I think when you have someone like that, you don't feel as though you're just, you're out of control. And I think having a guy that come in and do that is huge. So hope you go with this guy. Coupon code Tanner. He'll give you a free book.
Thanks, Tanner.
All right. I'll catch you later, man.
See ya.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out the Contractor Secrets podcast. Stick around. I am going to drop in a short testimonial that one of our awesome heavy hitters in Dripjobs had agreed to give out for us. So if you want to hear a little bit about how Dripjobs is helping contractors, stick around for the end of this episode and you can listen in. What's up, everyone? I'm here with Justina and Jordan of the Busy Bees. They've been so gracious to share a few minutes of their day to tell you guys how awesome Dripjobs is for their business. And I just kind of want to start off with, what were some of the things when we first started out that you were a little bit concerned about with adopting a new software? Because that's a big hurdle for a lot of companies.
For me, for a long time, for many years, it was just me and one other person, but I wanted to scale the business and grow it. And I knew I needed something that was more complex, where we could keep everything in certain areas, like just communication wise. So as a problem solver, I started thinking, looking out there, different programs, and I had tried a couple and it didn't work. And then I had followed you with, certain things that you've done over the years. And then somehow I ran across Dripjobs, and then I realized it was you, and I was like, what are the odds of that? So
that's so funny.
It was specifically tailored to a painting business, which obviously is what we are. And the other programs didn't specifically tailor to what I needed. So that was ultimately, it was like a done deal. And
how's it working for you? I mean, how's it working for you? I mean, a lot of people are skeptical about automation, when it comes to automation. Do you feel like it's saving you guys a lot of time?
It is, for sure. The automation helps definitely. I like that we can tailor it, specifically to what we need to say. If we need to edit things, we're allowed, to do that, to go in there to make it easier. Because some businesses are different, and with that accommodation, we can just tailor it to our customers, and it's working. The biggest thing I feel like that's helped us is that appointment booking link. So as a business owner, again, like trying to problem solve, trying to save money, time. We've just been making sure to send that booking link out every time we contact a customer, even if it's
customers adopting well to that.
Oh yeah. They love it, because a lot of people this day and age don't have time to call, maybe don't want to call. And it might, I think that it's helping us get more jobs. And ultimately it just shows the customer that we mean business. We're like, here's the calendar. And I like the fact though, for that, the booking link on Dripjobs, because they get to tell us what their availability is. So there's, and we can plug that in based on our schedule. Whereas other calendar booking apps, like I didn't feel like it worked as well for my personal business and my
It's funny. People never know when they can do an estimate when they call you. They have to be like, all right, well, hold on, let me look at my calendar. It's like, did you not expect me to ask you? So, so it's funny that, you send them the link. Jordan, let me ask you, I mean, how's it been for you, kind of just being able for Justine to pass the ball to you, having the software as your central spot to jump in? You guys are huge on notes, right? So you're the reason we put the notes. Justina, wait, first, let me put these two are like my sidekicks, because they're like my eyes. And every day or every other day, I get a message like, change this, tweak this. And I love it. I don't take it personal. I really do.
Little thing going
and then I'm like, hey, surprise.
Exactly.
Like, hey, surprise, we put this here for you guys. Tell me what you think. So you're the reason we put the notes section in the deal command center where you guys can easily see that. And so what do you guys think about that? Is that instead of like that other step, you guys like that?
It's so much more streamlined doing it that way, because we can, instead of having to click to the notes section to read the notes, it's right there. It's like, okay, scroll right there. And we go to what we need to go to next.
We can also, correct me if I'm wrong, we can copy and paste emails or any other.
Yes, very true.
And then the attachments, if there's text
soon we'll integrate your emails.
Yeah. No, it's been a godsend. Like, I'm on the field a lot. I'm a go girl. So Jordan and Kimberly as well, obviously. I throw things to them. So if I run across something in Drip, I'm like, that's not right. I'm like, send it over to Tan, you know, but
Like
Jordan.
I try to figure it out before.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we gotta do this. I'm like, but we shouldn't have to go through like 1,000 steps. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me message Tanner and his team, see what they say.
It's
if there's an easier way to do it that we're just not catching on to.
You know, our mission statement, we want to be an extension of your business. And I think like that's our focus. You know, we're not perfect, but what business is, you know?
We can tell you're really trying though. And I appreciate, you know, the intercom because you guys, even on off hours, are getting back to us and you don't have to do that, you know, and we just want, ultimately we're problem solvers. That's at the end of the day. There's going to be things that come up that we have zero control over. There's going to be glitches. Just like our business, there's going to be bumps in the road, you know, programming wise, there's probably more. But we're being able to work with us, you know, it's been awesome. And I, you know, I just love to, I love to see how things are progressing, you know, with the program itself, and we're utilizing everything that we can. So
you like the new proposal look, Justina? Did you see that?
I do. Yep. Very cool.
Did you see that your review link? New button. You got a new button. You got your review links populating in there.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys sell the jobs on the spot, or do you like to email the quote when?
If I can sell it on the spot, I do. Like yesterday, I had somebody that went in there signed, and they gave me a deposit. It was great.
Nice. Did you? So did you have them sign on like the iPad? Like, how did that work? Did they sign? They signed on the iPad.
They were blown away by all the technology.
Like, don't worry, I normally sign it a lot neater.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's okay. Mine looks the same. No, it's been great. Cool. I'm really excited for the future. I think given, you know, where I was in my business, it was a good step to take on at that time because it was our downtime. You know, winter, you're a little slower. So we learned a lot of it while we had the time, and I'm grateful for that.
And now you're just full speed. You know,
exactly. And there's hundreds of customers, so we need Drips to help us.
How many customers do you guys think you'll serve this year?
Ooh, I don't know. The projection based on numbers is, you know, it's going to be great. I mean, I'm really excited. It took 20 years to get to this point, but it's all about teamwork, problem solving, and just making sure you try to have a good attitude while you're doing it.
I love that. I love that. So I can't thank you guys enough. Keep it coming, the teamwork, the camaraderie.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, you guys are awesome.
Hopefully next time we touch base, we can give you some more tips.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. They're coming. They're coming. And, oh, by the way, we're fixing that word in there, that originally thing. That thing is stuck out to me. Was that you guys with the hand signed signature? So little things like that, you know, matter. You know, I study this software so much. It's almost like when you guys paint a house, right? And I paint too. So I know both sides. But when you guys paint a house, you're in that house all day. And then the customer will be like, hey, you forgot something.
So like, true.
How did I not see that?
Yeah, so
you
great.
Know? Yeah.
I totally get that because I'm a painter too. So it makes total sense.
Like, all right, we're packing up. But what about that? Like, how did I walk by that, 8 times and not see it?
Yeah.
You know, keep
Once
it coming.
Once you stare at something for too long, you don't always see it. So you take a step back and you come back and you're like, oh yeah, there it is.
I'm like, oh, it's funny. And that's been there for a while. So it's good. So thank you guys, of course.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. Get back to doing what you guys rock at. We'll see you soon. And maybe we'll do this again sometime.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye, Dan.
Thank you.